Good day and welcome to an exclusive preview of RAP's Executive Development Program at the Kellogg School of Management. Thank you. So yes, my name is Tiffany Bellardi, Marketing Manager here at RAPS. In today's session, we will provide an overview of our Executive Development Program, introduce you to our speakers, and invite them to share key program details along with their enthusiasm for this program. We will cover the program structure, what it entails, and how you can become a part of this exciting program. We will finish with a Q&A session to give you an opportunity to ask all of your questions. I'd like to introduce you to Alana Lazarowicz, Senior Director, Executive Programs, Kellogg School of Management. We also have Cameron Merritt, Director, Business Development, Executive Education, also with Kellogg School of Management. And Diana Saldet, President of the RAPS Board of Directors and Principal of Consultant at Saldet Regulatory Consulting, and also an alum of this program. So let's now review the program overview. The Executive Development Program is a 4-day program held at the Kellogg Global Hub at the Northwestern Evanston campus. The program is from the 5th through the 8th of May, and is offered once a year to a select group of 31 cohort members. So please note that the registration deadline for this is the 21st of April. And we encourage you to not wait since spaces are highly competitive and the program sells out each year. You will receive 12 RAP credits through this program, and you can see the registration fees here on the screen. Let's see here. Again, the last day to register is the 21st of April. And thank you for your attention. I will now hand it over to Alana Lazarowicz, Senior Director, Executive Programs with the Kellogg School of Management.
Thanks so much, Tiffany. That was a great overview, and happy Thursday to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to share a little bit about Kellogg and a little bit about this great program. So Kellogg Executive Education has a long-standing partnership with RAPS. In May, this will be our 19th running of the leadership program. So we're very excited about that. And our faculty love teaching in this program because in regulatory affairs, there's such a wide variety of challenges and opportunities. And the folks that come to this program are always very willing to share their experiences. So this partnership is very meaningful to Kellogg. And I'd like to start by just thanking everyone for participating in this call and hopefully coming to see us in Evanston later in the spring. We are, as you may know, one of the top business schools. Historically, Kellogg is usually ranked as one of the top business schools. And this year, we've gotten extra nice kudos in that we were nominated as #2 with U.S. News and World Report. I don't know if many of you interact with hospitals. Hospitals tend to look at U.S. News and World Report. We do too in academia, so we're thrilled that we were ranked as #2. We also picked up some #1s. Poets and Quants is it's a resource that MBA students use to talk about all things business, and they do great evaluations independently. They ranked us as #1 in the country, and Fortune magazine ranked our executive MBA program, which is a really condensed program for executives, as #1. And the reason that we have those wonderful accolades are because of our faculty. Our faculty are thought leaders. Their currency is research. So they are finding new ways that people and organizations excel in things like negotiations, communications, crisis management. So those faculty combined with our industry leaders. We have specifically in this program, former CEO of Baxter International. We have that caliber of folks from industry on our faculty as well. And the nice thing is that those faculty that help build our reputation, many of those are the ones that will be teaching specifically in this program. You really have some of our rock stars, which I'm delighted to share with you. And another thing about our program is that Kellogg doesn't like to, or never wants to, just share information and then people go back home and they kind of move on and get busy with their daily work. Our goal is that this will truly be a transformational experience where you take the learning, you have time to reflect and create action plans so that when you go home, you will be able to implement some of these great groundbreaking research on how you can be a wonderful leader in regulatory affairs. So that's a little bit about where you're going to learn. Let's talk about what is the real benefit? What will I really get out of coming to this program? So we will address leadership in 3 different ways. And these 3 areas of leadership are very interconnected. They're not discrete circles, but I'll start with the individual level. So you'll learn about values-based leadership. And in that, you'll learn from Professor Harry Kramer, former Baxter CEO, and you'll learn how to uncover your own strengths and build your leadership style based on values and trust and resilience. You'll also hear from Professor Lauren Nordgren, who is an expert. He's a social psychologist, and he's an expert on decision-making in complex environments. So he will help share what are the cognitive biases that we all hold that inhibit us from making the best decisions. So that'll be great learning. Next, we go to an interpersonal level. How do we react in teams? We'll hear from Professor Ed Sajak, who'll talk about strategic planning and implementation. We'll think about how do we critique strategic plans and how do we ensure that the wonderful plans that we made are not just sitting in a binder on somebody's desk, but actually get activated to bring great change in our organization. You'll also hear from Professor Shana Carroll, who will talk about leadership communication. How do we make our messages be heard in a way that resonates with people? Also, we'll hear from Professor Birju Shah, who is one of our AI experts here at Kellogg. He'll be talking about AI in regulatory affairs, how we can apply, and we'll learn about AI, some basic terms, machine learning, AI, large language models, but we'll also spend time doing case studies of how companies have applied AI, and you'll be able to think about how you can apply this variety of rich tools that the AI term embraces in your own setting. At an institutional level, and by that we mean within your full organization as well as across regulatory affairs, how you can be a leader broadly. And we're thinking about things like high stakes negotiations, where Professor Noor Catelli will tell us how we can break down negotiations to a win-win scenario that brings value for everyone involved. We'll also touch on a very important topic for regulatory affairs, crisis management and communication, where high stakes negotiations is Noor, crisis is Nicolo Persico, and he'll be talking about how do we evaluate media and whether it's negative or positive about our own organizations, and how we can flip that narrative to our benefit. And finally, we'll hear from Professor Brian Utsi, who has been noted in the past as one of the top sociologists in the world, and he will be sharing how to grow our professional networks to gain influence. We'll be doing an audit of our own professional networks, and we'll be learning some tools to effectively grow that network to be better in our roles. So now we will turn to how we are going to teach all of these wonderful topics. So you'll learn frameworks and tools that help you solve challenges that you face, the network of peers that you develop. It's a really delight to teach in this program because most people come here and don't know, maybe they might know 1 or 2 people from other venues, but by the end, everyone is kind of a big, happy cohort family, right? So you will, whether you come from biomedical, there are people from pharmacy, medical devices, regardless of the function that you're in, it'll be nice, hopefully, for you to expand your network across that area, as well as your network with our faculty. You'll also have time for reflection and refinement of your leadership skills. And finally, you will leave prepared to take on the increasingly complex demands of your role. Now, you might be asking, well, who is going to teach us these wonderful things? and we'll share a little bit about who the faculty are that you'll be engaging with. So our faculty, as I mentioned, are world-class. They are influential, like Professor Harry Kramer, CEO, former CEO of Baxter International. He was there for over 20 years. He's currently a partner in Dearborn Madison, a private equity firm. He's on many boards. He's the author of several leadership books, and spoiler alert, if you attend the session, you will get a free copy of one of Harry's books, which are always very coveted. You'll also be learning from Shana Carroll, who she really does epitomize human-centered learning. She is a professor of management and organizations, and she's also the co-chair of that department. She has organized one of the communication curriculum for MBA students at Kellogg, which over 80% of them opt into taking those courses. And we will be hearing from Shana about communication strategies for leaders. And last but not least, and again, these are three of the faculty, just a sample, we'll hear from Birju Shah. Birju has been part of our faculty for over 10 years. And during that time, he has also been a CEO, Chief Product Officer, President. He currently is the CEO of an AI platform in the farming industry. And he will, believe it or not, be teaching a session on AI. So really how to start at the beginning with AI, learn a little bit about what these acronyms mean. We'll do cases and have an opportunity to see how you can apply this learning to your own organization. And the next slide here, this is an overview of our time together. This will be available afterwards, so please feel free to look through it carefully. I'd like to highlight just a couple of things. We do start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we finish most of the time around 6. So lots of learning in that time period, but we never go more than an hour and a half without a break, and we always feed you with great lunches and food along the way. We do finish at 5 o'clock on Thursday, and we have an specifically allocated time on Tuesday from 4:15 to 6 really, which is dedicated to you having some reflection time and thinking about how you might put into action some of the learnings that you've already acquired in those first 2 days. Now, I think I will turn it over to my colleague, Cam, who will talk a little bit more about our venue.
Awesome. Thank you, Alana. So I'm going to speak to you about kind of where you'll be doing learning. We like to say here at Kellogg that your job is to get to campus, and we will take care of everything else because we want you to be focused on connecting with your peers, really engaging with the faculty and the content. So again, as Alana said, you can leave and be able to apply all your great learnings when you get back to your job. So this year, the program will be held on our campus at Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois, and it'll be in the Global Hub, which is our flagship building of our school. The beautiful thing about our campus is we sit right on the lake shore of Lake Michigan, and you can even see the skyline from Chicago. And the beautiful thing about it is RAPS is coming this year in May, as always, and so you're coming at a really beautiful time of year. And so a lot of participants during breaks or off times, they take advantage of our campus and are able to go walk and enjoy the beautiful lakeshore. Our buildings are equipped with state-of-the-art technology, so the faculty can really engage you in multiple ways of learning. We even have our own private executive dining space, and you'll have the opportunity to have your lunches there every single day. And so we also have private break areas. So as Elena mentioned, we have these sessions and we take a break around every 90 minutes, and then that's opportunity to refresh, continue to network, and we have dedicated space for that. In terms of accommodations, this year we're at the Hilton Orrington, which is a 10-minute walk from campus. Again, we have accommodations where we will provide transportation to and from the hotel at the beginning and end of day. But as I said earlier, many of our participants like to walk, and you're coming in May, and so that's another opportunity for you as well. So our Hilton Orrington is our dedicated space for Kellogg Executive Education, and so you'll be staying there. It's a 4-star hotel in downtown Evanston, and it has everything you need any hotel will have. We'll also have dedicated dining where you'll have breakfast in the morning, um, and you'll have dinner at night after coming back to campus. And so between those two, we take care of all the accommodations to really make sure that you're having a well-rounded experience. And obviously we have, I'm not sure if our program manager Gina's on the call today, but she will be your personal contact that if you need anything regarding either at the Global Hub or at the hotel, she'll be able to make sure that she answers all your questions. And so we are super excited about, welcoming you to campus. We know you'll love the Global Hub as well as the Orrington this year. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Cam. So it's time, let's dive in. Now that our speakers have shared their vision and the expectations for the program, it's time to answer your questions. So please post your questions in the Q&A box. And also, if you do want to unmute yourself and raise your hand, you can go ahead and live chat your questions. Let's see, and if you'd like to, let's see, I already said that. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, we just had our first question come in. How far away are you from Chicago?
So Chicago proper is maybe 10 miles. It's not too far from Evanston. And so there's opportunities. Some students, some participants may have the opportunity, but if you see the schedule that Alana did post, we do keep a pretty packed schedule in terms of learning. We want to make sure that you're really squeezing out the opportunity. So not too far from the city if you have an opportunity to take advantage. In the past, some participants extend their stays. Some participants have come early. And we get accommodations before, and we'll spend maybe the weekend before the end of the week before to come and enjoy the city. Again, you're coming in May, you're coming at a really good time, and Chicago is a great place to be this time of year.
And just,
Great. Next,
oh, sorry, Tiffany, and just a heads up, I'm going to ask all to unmute. If you don't want to unmute yourself, you don't have to, but if you'd like to unmute yourself and ask a question, you're more than able to.
thank you, Stephanie. I did have another question come in here. It says, is the dress code business casual or business attire?
Business casual. Yeah. And I see there's a question on AI. I haven't had much background in AI. Will I be lost in the AI session? Answer is no. Birjo will be providing a pre-read prior to the session. He likes to do that right up until close to the session because things in AI change so much. But typically in this program, we have people who have never played around with AI at all. And then we might have people that are using AI to evaluate contracts and things like that. So there's a wide variety of experiences in the room. So you will be quite comfortable as we will be starting with the pre-read, and Birju kind of starts it off with some basic level setting to describe what is AI, what's machine learning, what are large language models, and then move into the further part of the session. But thank you, that's a great question.
Great. We have a few more coming in here. So does the cost of the program include accommodations? And if yes, is there a reduced cost for someone who is local?
So yes, the price of the program includes your accommodations. Once you pay that, everything is taken care of. If you're local, we really do recommend that you're staying in the accommodations. So much of this program is being in that immersive experience. So we don't offer that reduced rate for somebody that's local. Even if somebody is local, they're staying on campus, staying in the hotel, and really engaging with the program and the participants. So no, there is not a reduced rate for somebody local.
And I'll just add on to that, Cam, just that a big part of this program is the networking aspect. So we really do like to encourage that component during the program, which oftentimes happens, after hours back, around the hotel and things.
Great. Another question. How are participants selected? Is it first come, first serve?
Yes. So, I'm not privy of the details of terms of RAPS, the application process, but for us at Kellogg, it is definitely the way from our perspective, first come, first serve. As Tiffany mentioned, it fills up pretty quickly to 31 people. So we're close to that number. So definitely get your application and everything in through RAPS and sign up and be ready to go.
Good, good. And then what is the role of the co-facilitator?
So Tiffany mentioned in the introductions that I'm an alumni of the RAPS Executive Development Program at Kellogg. The other role that I have in the program is that I'm one of two co-facilitators that RAPS sends to the program. The reason why we do that is primarily to translate some of the business concepts that we gained during the Kellogg faculty sessions into their regulatory application. And we do that, if you were a speed reader, you might have seen in the schedule matrix that there's a session called Reflections and Implications, and those occur on the last 3 days of the program. And during those sessions, we talk about some of the business topics that we've covered, and we really talk in more detail about the regulatory application. And we have discussions with the whole group kind of about some of their experiences in those areas of application. So that's the main reason why RAPS includes the co-facilitators in the program. The other things that we do is we're happy to answer any questions that you have about RAPS programs or activities, really during breaks or any other part of the program that's outside the classroom time. And we also bring in people that have diverse experience. So if there are questions that you have related to regulatory or leadership topics that are within our areas of expertise, we're also willing to talk with you on the side about those topics. We do have 2 co-facilitators this year. I'll be joined by another RAPS board member, a RAPS board member from Johnson & Johnson. And so we'll both be available. We look for different kinds of experience, including experience in adjacent functions to regulatory. And the person that will be joining me this year has regulatory and quality experience. I'm primarily regulatory, but I've worked with combination products. So I also have worked with pharma and biotech, and I also have background in global regulatory policy.
Going on to the next question. Post completion of the program, what is the mode of recognition award? Is it a certificate? Is there a eligibility criteria? Is there any difference in fee structure for a small business owner, a consulting company in life sciences, healthcare industry?
So there is a certificate. So we will be handing those out on the last day of the program. And as Kim mentioned, it is a single price structure. There is an early bird discount. I don't know, Tiffany, if we're past that date. Is that still eligible?
So the last day would be April 2nd for early bird rate.
So there is an early bird rate that is a little bit less expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then I do have a question, raised hand here from Tatiana. Do you want to go ahead and unmute and ask your question?
Yes, thank you, Tatiana Bogdan. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit more? How much of this 4-day program is focused on teaching and lecture versus practical applications and maybe practice of some of the skills and knowledge that participants will learn? Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks, Tatiana. That is an excellent question. And I think I wish I could have primed you to ask that question, because that's something that we really pride ourselves on in these programs. Is this is not some place where you sit and get lectured to for 3 hours. It's at a time. Each one of our sessions, there is one exception to this. The one exception is more of a conversational presentation, but every other session is very active in terms of you'll be doing a case study, you'll be going to small groups, you'll be working on something on your own for your own business. So these are every portion of the program has interactive elements. And we also, as Deanna mentioned, have that reflection in the morning that draws out not just the board members' experiences, but the experiences of everyone in the group, so you can learn from each other in different ways. So everything from, cases to running around the building for some cases, and small group work, larger group work, turn to your neighbor type things, and actively kind of working on your own projects. I hope that answered your question, Tatiana.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good question. I have another one here from Alexis. Is the content of the regulatory discussion focused primarily on North American regulations, or are international regions also discussed?
I have a clarifying question on that. The content of the regulatory discussion, are you referring to the whole program, or was there a specific topic that you were interested in? I'll answer for the whole program and you can shoot back if that's not the case. Again, Kellogg is a global university. We actually rate our faculty. One of the things that we rate them on are the global examples that they bring into the programs. So having not just being US centric is really important to Kellogg overall. I hope that answered, but if it didn't, please pop something else in the Q&A.
Yeah, I can just add that, you know, it's always hard to tell the exact composition of the program, but the years that I've been there, there are usually a few international students in the program. We've had people from Canada, Europe. I think we even had someone from Australia last year. So there is an international contingent to the program. The co-facilitators, and, you know, we're really, you know, you're going there to hear from the Kellogg faculty. So they're doing the bulk of the classroom lecturing and discussion, and we're doing the reflections part. But we do talk about global topics as well as US. Both of us as the co-facilitators both have worked in global companies, and so we have that experience. So it's a component, and I suppose the extent of that depends a little bit on how many international people and questions we get during those sessions.
And to add to that, having a cohort, you're not only learning from the professors, but you're also learning from the cohort members. So I hope I have answered everything. Oh, here, Alexis has gotten back. The whole program, yes, and you helped clarify. Thank you. I work a lot with Australia and Latin America, so this is of interest. Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. We do have a good connection in Australia and in Latin America, so that's great.
And I'll also add one more piece. Once we get all the participants and where they're from and the industries they're in, Alana sends the faculty like a pre-participation booklet so they know. So when they're preparing for their sessions, they're very well aware of the geography representation in the room. And so they're able to tailor and bring in a lot of those examples to make sure that we're being, you know, inclusive in terms of where everyone's coming from, so that it's useful to everyone. So our faculty look very closely at where our participants are coming in terms of, you know, countries and regions.
And Cam, I'll just pull on that thread for another moment, because that's what we call the participant profile book. And that's available not just to our faculty, but that will be available to all of the participants. So even before showing up, you will have an opportunity to see who are the other participants, who might you like to establish a connection with. So that's another fun way that we encourage networking in the program.
Thank you. And I have a question here about what if my English is not very good, how can I best join the class? Are there any recommendations you can share or experience?
Hey Cam, I might toss that one to you.
Not sure. We don't use a translation booth in our programs, which
Yeah.
is something we have that is not a part of this program necessarily. If that's something we can take offline and have that conversation and understand
Sure.
the level of comfort with English, we can have a conversation on what that could look like in this program.
Okay, so I can reach out to that attendee with a follow-up email.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. How much is the program tuition? If you click on the register link that was shared here in the chat, it will take you to a webpage that has all the information on the program, including the tuition. But I can also just tell you right now.
And while you're looking that up, Tiffany, I did see another question. I am so sorry, but we do not offer any kind of scholarships for the program.
Okay. So the early bird for members is $9,045, and for non-members is $11,120. And that is for early bird if you register by the 2nd of April. After so starting April 3rd, the rate does go up a few $100s for each, but I still would encourage to register sooner rather than later, just since we have 12 spots remaining. So we have 19 people who are already registered. So we don't want you to lose a spot if this is something that you want to want to do this year.
And Tiffany, if I might also mention, you have that wonderful letter if you need to share something with your employers in order to justify getting this funded. Maybe you could share that additional detail.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. We do have a justification letter that you can share with your manager to kind of help sell it to your manager to get to funds to pay for the program. And that's link is available in the chat, and it's also available on the webpage. Are there any other questions? Did we miss any? Did I miss any? Any other questions for Diana as an alum?
So maybe I can just say from the perspective of why did I take the class, although it was early on in the program, so it's been a while, and why have I agreed to be a co-facilitator for the program is, there are a lot of programs to get regulatory content out there, but this is the program for our regulatory leaders, who are looking to build their business acumen. And I think that, when you're looking for these kinds of classes, really just like when you're looking for regulatory classes, you're looking for, insights more than just plain information, the ability to apply those insights. You're looking for things that are thought-provoking, that challenge your perspectives, things that are leading edge like AI. And this program, provides all of those. It's a really highly rated program with, top faculty from Kellogg. I think there are a lot of opportunities for group discussion. The group of people that attend this program tend to be very accomplished and highly engaged participants. So there usually is a lot of discussion, and which is a great thing in a small group like this. And so, those are some of the reasons why I think this is a beneficial program. And I'm sure there's others, but just kind of based on my experience working with this group, it's really a pleasure to spend a week with these people.
That's beautiful. Good. Any other question before we finish up? Okay, so here is the QR code to register for the program. It's also in the chat. You can also access a justification letter that we mentioned through this QR code to help you communicate the program's value to your manager. So please note that space is limited, so we encourage you to register in advance. Like I mentioned, we have 19 registered so far out of the 31 for the cohort, and we've sold out each year. So don't waste any time there if it's something you want to do. RAPS would like to thank you for your time and participation in this informational sneak peek. And a special thank you to our speakers, Alana Lazarowicz, Cameron Merritt, and Diana Seldet. We look forward to seeing you in May. So until then, go out there and make it a great day. Thank you, everyone.